All right. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. I want to say call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Akakodash. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders at GM Master Ruel. Peace and blessings to the Akim that's out there fighting, doing this work with truth and sincerity. Back here again with a quick lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect men out there listening and watching these videos. Like Elder Yashua would say in this page, News and Prophecy. You know, you can't talk about the C-Hip enough, because we in these times, and these times is making it more evident that Revelations 13, don't want to jump the gun, is still in play, and it's going to play out on this side in the current rulership of the top Edomites. Their agenda is to cap their NWO and to put you into a digital slavery, with you having a digital tag in you. And Apostle Hart said too, you know, it's not a surprise that these so-called illegal immigrants, how they gathering them up and taking them back home, deporting them, whatever they're doing. And like the Apostle Hart said, not surprised that a lot of them will be put back over here, but have that tracking device in them, that C-Hip in them. You know, a lot of Christians don't acknowledge it because they don't know. Now, other Israelite groups don't even speak about the C-Hip. Like they think it's a game, and Jacob's trouble is gay, and they speak about all these things, but you're not warning your congregation of these things that's going to take place, because we're not permitted to take this. And if you do take this, you actually saying this city, this country, the current rulers are your God in so many ways. This is an idol that you're putting in you. You see? And Lord is warning his people again, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, to wake out of sleep, like it speaks of in the book of Romans. So here it is now. And I was watching the brothers, the brother New Jersey Saint, New Jersey. Yeah. Saints of Jersey too. Brother was going into this, man, getting it in, and hey man, yeah, people was playing games, talking noise, but now look, everything is going digital and they moving fast. So right here, it says, come on now, Starmer set to announce digital ID cards within days to curb illegal migration. See, the Prime Minister looks set to announce the launch of digital ID cards in an attempt to clamp down on illegal immigration. Insiders say Starmer plans to announce the digital ID scheme at the next labor conference, which is due to begin on September 28th. We're right around the corner with that. So it wasn't far-fetched to them to deport people, but then to have them to come back into the system or back over here and tag them. And it's the same things for these prisoners who've been locked up for time on end, and to let them out or early release, things of that nature. They're gonna give them the choice, or you can reduce your sentence down if you put this device in you. See, all this stuff is coming to a head, man. And we hear wars that's going on overseas in the Middle East, all this tension, and it's, the world is going against Israel for what they doing. The small hats on what they doing. The mass GNI side of what they doing with the people over there. The world, even Russia's speaking up. So there's a lot of things that's happening on the planet, man. And you cannot forget about the C-Hip that they want to implement. Let's see, any more? I'm trying to see if there's more on the article. I'm out here walking, forgive the wind and the noise. Let's go back up top. Yeah, Starmer to set to announce digital ID cards. And you know it's going to go physical. It's going to be something that's going to go in you eventually. It's not far-fetched to you having your credit cards, and now they got the tap to pay. Well, now people use their watch to scan things. It's all a setup and people falling for it. I think hey man, the people are ready. One more disaster on a major world event is gonna, man, they got, like Pastor Hart said, they got the technology already, man. They got that, man. You know, it ain't gonna be no 15, 20 years from now. This is in the near future, man. Very, very near. That's why the Lord, his men, he commanded them to go out on the highways and byways. Oh, come on now. He commanded them to go out on highways and byways. Like it says, 2 Ezra 15:1. You can't bring that out enough. Behold. Behold meaning look. Look. Behold. Speak thou in the ears of my people, who are the Lord's people. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of Indian Negro descent who've been spread throughout the four corners of this planet, that's going to come looking like other nations, like the speckled bird, because we've been spread around the planet because of our disobedience. And you know Jake like to have sex. So you're going to have babies coming looking like other nations, but they're going to be Israelites. And that great multitude is going to come in. You're going to have Israelites looking like so-called East Indians. But the spirit in them is of an Israelite. So behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? The 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel, the words of prophecy, to tell you something before it happens. And that's what you see happening for you with the men of Great Millstone, the apostles, the bishops, elders, and the men on down, and those that's not of GMS, but teaching the same doctrine of Yahweh Shai, which is what? Spirit of prophecy. Because your congregations, you lying to them and saying that this ain't it, and how can you buy with a potato chip? Whatever little funny gimmicks you got to tell your people to keep the money coming in. But then when they take it, their blood will be on your hands because you're not warning them. The Bible says in Jeremiah 26:2, at the last part of that verse, it says, diminish not a word. We don't supposed to diminish what is being given unto us, which is the gift and the unction of the Holy One to know these things. He didn't diminish his word by giving us this understanding. So why should we diminish the information that wasn't diminished to us, diminished to the people? We got to tell them everything that's written in the Bible that the Lord wants us to bring out. You see, we ought not to diminish a word, man. The good, the bad, the ugly. You know, it's gonna be times where some of us gonna be homeless. It's gonna be times where we're gonna be living in tents. You just never know. A lot of brothers gonna be, you might have 15 brothers living in one house, and shit, 7 brothers might have great jobs to keep everything, you see what I'm saying? And you know, it's gonna get, man, look, it's here. But all this has to happen for the elect's sake. And I have to keep that in mind. We need to keep that in mind. It's getting tight for the elect's sake, because it won't be in the flesh left saved as long as this man is in rulership. So we speaking to the ears of his people spiritually, to these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, again, to wake out of sleep and see what's taking place, man. Now they're going with the digital ID cards. Next is going to be some physical that's going to be implemented in you. You see? Which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. So we didn't sit down one day and say, I'm going to read the Bible. There's going to be a chip coming out. They're going to chip everybody, or society going to break down. Man, we didn't know any of this. Tell the Spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Shai intervene. Remember, he gave his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So we didn't get this on our own. It was given unto us to see these things. Our mind has been changed. And you have a different outlook once you be reborn again. If you ain't being reborn again, goddamn gnats, man. Damn. You ain't being reborn again, then you're not going to be able to see what we're talking about. I'm going to get this real quick. Man, where these fucking gnats coming from? Right here in Revelations, you see? Whew. It's humid today. Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all the top elite banking families, right? Pardon me. The rulers that be on the planet, right? He causeth all, meaning every person on the planet, every being, every human on this planet, from children to older adults and everything in between, here and abroad. And he causeth all, both small and great, whether you homeless or whether you a top figure in the world. Both small and great, rich and poor, whether you're rich or you're poor, whether you're in prison, whether you're free, out here walking around as I'm doing, or your ass is incarcerated or whatever the case may be, free and bond to receive. When he introduced you to this, a lot of Israelites go have their hand extended out to receive it, to administer something to you. So to receive a mark, and that mark in Greek is charagma, and thing inserted, an incision, a cut, a prick. We know it's an incision they want to put inside of you. It's a little bit bigger than a grain of rice. It has all your information on it, and they can track you with that. You see, with these antennas that's built into it, and then people that's taking that jungle juice, the jizab, you know, they have nanobites in that thing, and it's crazy, man. It's gonna connect anything, everything. That's why they call it the Internet of Things. Everything is being upgraded to 5G, 6G, 7G, your phone, your routers at home, everything. You're smart this, you're smart that. You see? And they cause it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. You see? It's going to be put on you someplace. I got to get that precept. Let's go to this. Hold on, let me switch over to, I want to switch over to the blue letter to get a precept. Let's go into this with Starmer going set to announce digital ID cards. For some reason, I guess it's too hot out here to have multiple screens open. It's crazy, man. But nonetheless, the show must go on to introduce, digital ID cards to the immigrants. Like it says here, Starmer set to announce digital ID cards within days to curb illegal immigration. You see? So I was over here in Revelations, but I wanted to pull this in the blue letter. Revelation 13 and 16, and he called us all, both small, and he called us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand on their foreheads, right? And that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the charagma, the mark. And the only way you're going to be able to make it and flourish or thrive in society is if you will come under the plans of the elites, and they want you to be C-hipped. You're not going to be able to buy anything, sell anything, drive your car, get gas, whatever the case may be. You're going to be ostracized out of society at the end of the day. And that's why the Lord is prepping his men, the elect, to detach from this place. Don't worry about the cares of this life, because the day is coming where we're going to have to really push away from all the comforts that we have, because I'm on the phone doing the lesson now. We use these things, like we have to use these things. It's going to come to the point where we're going to have to really let go and put our hope and trust and faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And that no man might buy or sell. Say, if he have the mark, or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You know, that's 666. And when you buy something, they got the code on the back, the universal product, UPC, universal product code. When they scan something, they keep track of all that. Well, that's going to come to you physically a little bit bigger than a grain of rice that they want to implement inside people, man. And we're here to tell you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Amshah not to take that. And they coming. So you being warned day in and day out. Man, you can go find these videos online right now while it's freely given them to you, because there's going to come a time to go clip all the videos off, and you're not going to have the understanding and get the understanding and the wisdom you need to build up your faith. That's why it's detrimental for you to build up your faith now. You see, this is the time, the opportunity, the window of mercy where we need to be building up ourselves, man. You know, and when you turn on the TV, when you wake up, turn on the TV and see things happening, you be happy, man. It's like, fuck this shit, because this needs to take place in order for us to get up out of this nightmare that we live in, man. This is not living. And again, what other reasons do we have left to want to be here other than do it and work? You can't say your children, because you're doing the work until the end. Lord willing, you and your household will be saved. So that goes without saying, Lord willing, that elect number. You see, there's nothing left here, man. No other reasons to be here. And who would want to live in a society like that, controlled by robots and a digital, tracking device in you? Come on, man. They watching your every. Come on, man. Oh, what, to keep a house, to keep a Mercedes, where you can still travel? But then if you don't do what they tell you to do, they can control the money that's on those chips. Remember, Nick Rockefeller told Aaron Russo, if the people don't want to listen, they just turn off your device. Then what you go do? So you got to be absolutely nuts to want to stay here in a situation like this, and or don't want to take heed to a situation like this that's being conveyed unto you to tell you what's about to take place. These people that's living in these gated communities and condos and jet setting, they go take that, man, because they want to keep their status, they want to keep their money that they have. They go keep that, man. Us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, Lord willing, to hopefully elect, are going to trust and depend upon Yahweh Bashim Amshah, because he's not going to leave the elected his people stranded. He's not. We just hoping that we part of that number. You see? We hoping we just part of that number, and the Lord keep us, man. There was a let's see something. Is it this one? Real quick. That cross-reference one. This is, let's see. It's in like is it come on. Yeah, Zechariah 13:6. Actually, pull it. You gonna have, like the apostles keep saying through the spirit, you gonna have brothers in the truth that's gonna run off and secretly take this thing, because the mother of your children went and got it behind your back, and the kids got it or whatever, and you go secretly take it, man. They not saying this for a reason, man. This is all spiritual. And I pray and hope I'm not one of those spirits that receive this, because we can't say the Lord will put the spirit upon you to take it. I pray I'm not one of those spirits, man, not to take that. I don't want to be living in this kind of situation with some shit inside of me that wasn't already given to me from birth, to keep a location on me and make me bow down to their will if I don't do what they say do. This ain't no life. So I pray, that I'm part of that number that don't receive that, man. There's gonna be some amongst us in them other camps that's gonna secretly take it, because right here it says, Zechariah 13:6. And one shall say unto him, what are these wounds in thine hands? Somebody might come around the camp and you ain't seen him in a while, and oh, what's up, bro? And you look at his hands, it look like a keloid or some kind of abrasion on the skin. That's why it says, and one shall say unto him, what are these wounds in thine hands? You know, you go look like, man, hey, what happened to your hand? Oh man, I was cooking and got burnt, or man, I was doing this, man, my hand got caught up on this, or I broke a piece of glass and they cut me a little bit. So one shall say unto him, what are these wounds in thine hands? Then he shall answer, those with which I was wounded in my house of my friends. That's what they go say. Man, I was at my friend's house, or I was at home. I was at my neighbor's house, man, and some accident fell on my hand and got this little cut, and it healed over and got a little skin abrasion or lesion on your hand. Because you go secretly, some of brothers in the truth, they know the Israelites go secretly go behind brothers' backs and take this thing, man. See, and if someone asks, then what about those wounds on your chest? On your chest, he will say, I was wounded at my friend's house. That's why it says over here in the KJV, what are these wounds on thy hand? You might, man, I fell down, man, and blah blah blah. But all the while he done took the sea hip. You know? Because this thing finna cause pressure. This finna cause pressure like none before. Revelations 3:10. Where the whole world gonna be tried. We're gonna be tried to the fullest extent of the word tried. And hope and pray until Yahweh Basham Messiah, he keep his Holy Spirit upon me in my house, my household, man. Because I'm already knowing that my children mom go take it, but they got nice homes, and they're not ready for this. Because if they were ready for what's coming, then they'd be listening to the man of the Lord whom they was with, and to prepare their mind the best way. They females, so what you gonna expect? It's gonna have to take holy hell breaking out in order for these females to fall under the banner and coming back to their true nationality, man. For those who don't fall back into it, they go take their sea hips, and you're gonna be deleted with this place. You're gonna be going down with this place in a drastic manner because you putting trust in this devil and his system and believing what he's saying over what Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is saying. So Lord willing, hope this is edifying. Till the next time, Shalom.